Confucius, who was China's most famous teacher, philosopher, and political theorist. His ideas have exerted an enormous influence on China and other civilizations of East Asia. Confucius's life, in contrast to his tremendous importance, seems starkly undramatic or, as a Chinese expression has it, plain and real. Confucius was born in the 22nd year of the reign of Duke Xiang of Lu, which was 551 BCE. The traditional claim that he was born on the 27th day of the 8th lunar month has been questioned by historians, but September 28th is still widely observed in East Asia as Confucius's birthday. It is an official holiday, Teacher's Day, in Taiwan. Confucius's family name was Kong and his personal name Chiu, but he is referred to as either Kongzi or Kongfuzi, meaning Master Kong, throughout Chinese history. The adjectival Confucian, derived from the Latinized Confucius, is not a meaningful term in Chinese, nor is the term Confucianism, which was coined in Europe as recently as the 18th century. Confucius's ancestors were probably members of the aristocracy who had become virtual poverty-stricken commoners by the time of his birth. His father died when Confucius was only 3 years old. Instructed first by his mother, Confucius then distinguished himself as an indefatigable learner in his teens. Confucius had served in minor government posts managing stables and keeping books for granaries before he married a woman of similar background when he was 19. It is not known who Confucius's teachers were, but he made a conscientious effort to find the right masters to teach him, among other things, ritual and music. His mastery of the 6 arts, ritual, music, archery, charioteering, calligraphy, and arithmetic, and his familiarity with the classical traditions, notably poetry and history, enabled him to start a brilliant teaching career in his 30s. In his late 40s and early 50s, Confucius served first as a magistrate, then as an assistant minister of public works, and eventually as a minister of justice in the state of Lu. It is likely that he accompanied King Lu as his chief minister on one of the diplomatic missions. Confucius's political career was, however, short-lived. At 56, when he realized that his superiors were uninterested in his policies, Confucius left the country in an attempt to find another feudal state to which he could render his service. Despite his political frustration, he was accompanied by an expanding circle of students during the self-imposed exile of almost 12 years. At the age of 67, he returned home to teach and to preserve his cherished classical traditions by writing and editing. He died in 479 BCE, at the age of 73. According to the records of the historian, 72 of his students mastered the 6 arts, and those who claimed to be his followers numbered 3,000. The story of Confucianism does not begin with Confucius, nor was Confucius the founder of Confucianism in the sense that Buddha was the founder of Buddhism and Christ the founder of Christianity. Rather, Confucius considered himself a transmitter who consciously tried to reanimate the old in order to attain the new. He proposed revitalizing life by advocating a ritualized existence. Confucius's love of antiquity was motivated by his strong desire to understand why certain life forms and institutions, such as reverence for ancestors, human-centered religious practices, and mourning ceremonies, had survived for centuries. His journey into the past was a search for roots, which he perceived as grounded in humanity's deepest needs for belonging and communicating. He had faith in the cumulative power of culture. The fact that traditional ways had lost vitality did not, for him, diminish their potential for regeneration in the future. As a teacher of humanity, Confucius stated his ambition in terms of concern for human beings, to bring comfort to the old, to have trust in friends, and to cherish the young. Confucius's vision of the way to develop a moral community began with a holistic reflection on the human condition. Instead of dwelling on abstract speculations, such as man's condition in the state of nature, Confucius sought to understand the actual situation of a given time, and to use that as his point of departure. His aim was to restore trust in government and to transform society into a flourishing moral community by cultivating a sense of humanity in politics and society. To achieve that aim, the creation of a scholarly community, the fellowship of Junzi, exemplary people, was essential. One of the fundamental Confucian values that ensures the integrity of ritual performance is xiao, filial piety. Indeed, Confucius saw filial piety as the first step toward moral excellence, which he believed lay in the attainment of the cardinal virtue, ren, humanity. To learn to embody the family in the mind and heart is to become able to move beyond self-centeredness, or, to borrow from modern psychology, to transform the enclosed private ego into an open self. Filial piety, however, does not demand unconditional. Confucius's legacy, laden with profound ethical implications, is captured by his plain and real appreciation that learning to be human is a communal enterprise.